Okay then, so I'm back by unpopular demand, and we've got a lot to show you here on Custom Works. I've been doing a lot on the 60s truck, done a lot of painting, and have made a lot of other things through the summer. But now we're back, we're nearly ready for paint, and this is it, the final furlong of the 60s truck. Let's get to the workshop. Just before we get onto the 60s truck, this is why I've not been here for the summer, and these are a few of the things that I've made. And also made this soapbox. Built that soapbox for the Red Bull soapbox race that was at Crystal Palace. We did it last time and we did pretty good, you know, it got down, it did all the things, but we came like 27th or something. This time though, we actually came third. We were like on the podium with like the champagne and all of that. It was just amazing. A lot of work went into it. Incredibly detailed sort of car. Hopefully you might sit around at some festivals this year, because at the moment we're putting a massive electric motor in it, because you can't have something like that just sit around, can you? You've got to be able to, like, well, just put a big motor in it and then drive it around. But hopefully it's going to be at a few music festivals in the UK this year, so you might actually get to see it in the, well, not really tin, it's more made of plastic, but you get what I mean. Okay, so now let's have a look at some of the bits I've been doing on the 60s truck. And you know, it's mainly been painting, but there's a lot of the 60s truck that is finished in this sort of like fake chrome sort of look. It takes a lot of work. So first you've got to get perfect prep, then you've got to get like the most perfect gloss black, then the silver, and then another coat of silver, and then a water-based clear, and then a 2K clear, and then you've got to go over that with the tinted clear to give the gold, and then over that in a clear coat so you can just flat and polish it back without going through the tinted clear. So that's why it's all took quite a while. So let's have a look at some of the bits that I've already done. Right, so I'm just going to show you just a few of the parts. So like, there's loads of parts. This is all 60s truck. And it's just like, it's all so finished and so precious. I'm terrified of damaging any of it. But like, first up, we've got, this is the surround for the window that's in the bonnet. So this is all fiberglass and then finished in that just amazing paint. It really is, like, it's just so reflective and good. This is what fits around the back lights. Well, not really back lights, them two Dagmars that stick out and then retract. This is the trim that goes around there, and that's all made from scratch, all in fiberglass. Bits like this will really make the car, but to make a piece like this has just taken so long. Okay, so another part is, this is where the steering wheel comes out of the dash. You know, we've been really trying to keep the dash on this super clean, and we're going to have to have, it's got to have an indicator stalk. We don't want anything really on the column at all. So what I did, the column comes through here. This is where the roll cage drops in. So what I did, I made this. Again, just finished in the gold. And this clips over here. And what that gives me is, through this slot, we'll just have a tiny bit of the indicator stalk sticking out. Because my mate Russell pointed out to me that all hot rods and custom cars and kit cars always end up with that same cheap thing goes around your column, sticks out. You know what? It's exactly what I'm using on this. So that's all sort of hidden in there, and just the bit sticks out. So hopefully that's going to really tidy up the whole sort of dashboard area. Yeah, this is the back light of the 60s truck. You know, this is fully wired and everything. That, you know, we just plug into this and this lights up. It's full of COB LEDs, and it lights up great. My only problem is the lens on this. So I don't know if you can tell, I tinted the lens with, you know, like the window tint stuff, but it's come away as it's been curved. Like when I first put this together, this was amazing. So I've got to sort that out. I have got some ideas for what to do with this lens, so you know, it's not a deal breaker. Like, I'm not going to not finish the car because of this bit, but that has been quite a headache. But yeah, that is one of the back lights. So look at even more stuff. So here are the door cards for the doors. Now, of course, this car's got those big suicide doors, so whatever's on the inside when it's sitting at a show with the doors open, it's got to look good. So I thought I'd go for this sort of guitar amp look. So along the top here, that's just a piece of Dibond that's been sprayed in the gold paint with some curtain rings and some lids from some moisturiser. Funny enough, they are the same lids off of the same enormous job lot of tiny tubes of moisturiser that I bought like 11 years ago to use on Cosmotron, and I think there's been at least one of them on every car I've ever built. But yeah, there they are, and my favourite curtain rings, of course. And then the fabric here, I knew I wanted this sort of fabrics. It's just so sort of golden Sahara, and you know, let's make no bones about it here. You know, I'm ripping some off, innit? The truck's very golden Sahara, so you know, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of a bit of plagiarism, and you know, plagiarising Barrish, you know, can't be bad. But yeah, this is off of a vintage Fender amp, and I had to look around a bit, but it was quite cheap. It wasn't that expensive when I got it, and it's got a sort of beautiful weave with all these tiny bits of gold sort of running through it, so they're going to look really good. And how have I made these? Essentially, wow, this looks rough. You know, it's a plastic door card of the taxi, and I've just made it fit a little bit better by glassing round it, glassing up some tape, and then just sort of making it so it all fits. And behind here is just the hollow door. This will be, you know, we can put a lot of speakers, can put a big stereo in this car and hide everything behind there. So, you know, there's nothing modern visible anywhere in the car. But I've done two of these, they're looking pretty good. Finished as well in a semi-matte rather than the gloss of the body. I thought I'd have a little bit of contrast between the interior and the exterior. Okay, and also, I've done the dash. It's over there. See, it's got that like big ball in it. I think last time we did see that in the car, but it's all painted now, it's all done. But it's at the back of so much stuff. I literally dare move it all just in case anything gets damaged, because it's all pretty perfect. But that dash and that ball obviously holds this TV screen. Now, I'll show you the surround I've made for the TV screen. This is going to be the TV screen in the 60s truck, and this is going to be all of the instruments. Now, yeah, I have been over this before, but if you're thinking, why would you have a screen in a 60s show car? Well, it's not LCD, it's not flat. This is cathode ray, proper old school. Like, it has to warm up and everything. But it's no old stock, so it should be good in the car. And what we're going to do, we're going to link this to a digital camera, to a reversing camera. And we've got some fancy bit of electronics that goes from a UVF signal to the digital signal. And we're going to point that camera at the speedo and the temperature gauge. And I'm thinking that's probably all we need. You know what I mean? It's a hot rod at the end of the day. But you do need to know, if you're going to overheat, you probably need to know your speed. But that will come up on this screen. And then this is all hidden by, once again, it's, you know, one of these bits of fiberglass that's been painted gold that literally took hours to make. But here it is, you see, that fits over there and gives this nice look. And then that moulds to the front of the ball in the dashboard. So it's going to look so good when it's done. I can't wait. But of course, this is here. There's some wires. So we're probably going to need the Messiah wire. Hot Rod legend Lee Cox to actually put that together and make that work. And I know he can. If you're watching, Lee, you better make it work, because you know what I mean. Got no speed.
Come this far.
Come this far, yeah. Come on, Messiah wire. Yeah, so I'm more than confident Lee will be able to make all of that work, and we will only have this TV screen as instruments in the dash, so that is going to be pretty cool. I think we're going to put like the ignition light in there as well, and maybe some other warning lights. See what we can wire up to that old Nissan engine that's in there. But yeah, that bit is going to be super exciting. Right, but it's not all sort of off-white and gold. No, there's a third colour as well, and this is the third colour. And it's like a metal flake bronze. It's the same bronze that we've used on the ramp that fits in the back that actually carries the motorbike. And I always like to get a car down to 3 colours. You know, you've got your main body colour, which is the off-white. So this is the ramp, the centre console, and then, you know, within within the pickup, there's that like doghouse to hold the front wheel of the motorbike, and that's all painted in this as well. And this is going to be, this actual thing here is going to be the switch box. So all the switches for the car will be chrome 60s style toggle switches put in here. And Richie, whose car it is, I know you're watching, we ain't going to label this, so you're just going to have to learn. You know, it's going to be like an old Lamborghini or something where million toggle switches, only the driver really knows how to make the car work. Pure 60s style, 2 rows of toggle switches. This is going to be super cool. And the Messiah wire has got a lot of wires to get inside that. You know, when all these bits are in, I've offered some of the bits in, and it's absolutely tantalisingly exciting. It really is. And here's something. These are the Dagmars that move in and out when the Continental kit moves. There's something just in black, ready, and you've got to leave this. Even once you've painted it in black, you've got to leave it for at least 4 days. I go for like a week or so, and then I give it a polish, just a light polish. I don't want to get through to any softer paint like within it. Then you can go on with the silver and stuff and, you know, make this gold finish. But at the moment, I've got those just in black, and just over there, from those old bicycle wheels, I've got the Appleton spots that are going to go on the scuttle panel, you know, proper custom style, always down and never wired. Okay, and so another thing that has been on the channel before is this front binnacle light. And look, here's the actual part that fits to the car. That has been revised and messed around so many times, but now it's painted, that's it, that's how it's going to look. And this is the insert that actually fits in there. So this is like, is it like the main headlight, or is that strip? I don't know, but it's one of the front lights. It's the big Cyclopsy eye. Now, I don't know if you can see on this, but if we shine the light in, and sadly I can't turn it on, but it's full of these like diamond draw pulls, and it's an infinity mirror as well. So this is like a 2-way mirror backed up on a regular mirror. And then we've got the lines of LED going all the way around. And when this is on, it literally looks like it goes back for a mile. And also, this is one of the first uses of one of the things that sort of inspired this whole project, with these crystal draw pulls. And Richie said, do you think you could build an asymmetric truck with a crystal draw pull grille? And it has evolved and evolved and evolved. There's going to be more crystals, a lot more crystals. But this is like the first bit with those in, and it's crystals for infinity. It looks like there's thousands, there's probably only about 20 in there. You know, this is fully wired, it all works. It just needs a final trim to get it to fit in there. And it really is, my God, this is just going to look unbelievable. And, you know, this will always be on as like the daytime running light, so this thing is going to glow. So this is what I'm doing at the minute. These are the wheel covers, and this is the insert to the wheel cover. You can see the wheel covers over here, more gold painted stuff, and this is the insert that fits in there. But I didn't just want that stick on sort of snake skinny gold. I needed something else, so this is what I've done. As you can see, my workshop is as tidy and professional as ever. Because you know why all this is in there? Because yeah, that'll be work happening. Yeah. So see, these are made of quite a flexible plastic, and these are going to be actually velcroed into the recesses there. So if you do get, a puncture on stormy night, you know, these can just rip off. It's just 4 10mm bolts, and you've got access to the wheel. So I thought these would look really good on it. And these are, you know, like them screw caps you'd have for like a mirror or something like that, but they're in gold. And I've been putting them on here. Now, I did think at first I'll be able to glue them on. I can't glue them on. This stuff's got like a, I don't know, it's like it's so tough and impervious. Oily, yeah, it's got like an oily film. Even if I wipe it, I can't just sort of dob them on. So what I'm to do is screw them all onto here, and for some reason that plastic, which I think is hips, if I put a screw into it, it cracks it. So I have to mark it, pre-drill it, and then screw everyone down with these tiny screws. Yeah, this has been taking quite a while, but you know what? It's quite a nice job because there's no dust. It's nice, it's easy, just sort of plod along. And sometimes jobs like this where lots of repetition will get you something that looks really good. You know, worth doing. Just do them, you know, when there's no on telly, pop in, drill a few holes, screw a few down. You can really make a great feature on a car just with like mind-numbing repetition of something like this. So hopefully this is going to come out really nice. Another thing I've done, I put this like knock-on edging all the way round, and that's really tidied up the edge. Even though it sits within the rebate, I didn't want it to have that raw edge on it. And something I learned on that is that, say this is the piece of plastic I've put it on, I couldn't get this stuff on. To save my life, I just couldn't get it to clip over. So I beveled the edge a little bit with the angle grinder to a point, and now it just pops on absolutely perfectly. So I've no idea why you'd be doing what I'm doing, because surely there's only me stupid enough to do it. But let's just say you were. I'm going to say that's a mediumly good tip. It's not top, but it's mediumly good, isn't it? To do all this, I made this template. Just rows on like 25mm offset, 50mm apart. This edge to the bottom, this edge to the nuggets. I've been calling them nuggets. I've spent a long time with these. And I've just been putting that on, dobbing it down with a pen, and then just screwing the hole. So, why don't we do one now? So I've already marked it. And for some reason, I don't know why, you know, sometimes you buy these, they come in two bags. One with the chrome bit, one with the plastic bit. These have got the plastic bits inside. So I've got to like pop them out. And you think, well, that's no problem. No, not once, but 1,000 times. Every time I do it, I think, why haven't they just put it in two separate bags? Why am I having to... Anyway, so we do that. Then we screw that bit down. I'm sure everyone knows how a mirror fixing works. And not too tight, so it strips through. That clicks on. Then repeat 1,000 times. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. They're nice and on there as well. The back, those screws are so small, I just nib this off with the grinder, and then they're not going to get in the way. And also because it's going to be held on with Velcro. Now Velcro holds really good, but it has got, I'd say Velcro's probably got 4 or 5mm of sort of give that it will hold that in place good enough. It's not going to like blow off on the motorway. Yeah, I've got a lot of that to do. And I'm going to be doing it, I'm telling you now. Right then, so now, onto the main truck. I have been paint prepping. And I mean like, just so much. This thing is huge. I can't tell you how big it is. I've started breaking it down into like, there's the outer car, but then there's all the bit in the bed, inside the Continental kit that all opens. Obviously there's the door shuts. Door shuts are huge on this because the doors are essentially swinging back to front. There's under the bonnet, the underside of the bonnet. This has been a lot of prep, but you may notice that unlike all other videos, look, the floor is clear. The floor has been de-dusted as well. This is almost ready for paint. I've got to do a bit more to the room. I'm going to sheet the roof, get it nice and tight above there because, you know, to get the minute this thing's off the floor, it's nearly touching the ceiling. This is a Saturday. I'm going to be painting this on Tuesday. It's like there's an exam coming up. I have painted, obviously I've painted cars before, but this is just so big. When it's done, it's just going to be so cool. It's just like, there's so much pressure to get it right. But I've got all the good stuff. I'm doing base coat and clear. And then after that, I'm going to leave it for a bit. And during that time, we'll finish wiring the car, get a lot more things finished in it. Then I'm going to flat and polish it. So then, just take a look around this car. I don't know if you can see it, but like literally there's a sheen to the primer down. Now, this is down to, it's about 1,000 grit all over. And then it's been Scotch brighted off. If we come around the car, So sections of the car such as this, which are going to have to be gloss black for the gold to go on. And this part will be bumper, all of this with no gap. I want it to go gold to the white, all under, you know, just one coat of clear. So I'm painting the bumpers black, masking those, painting the car, and then clearing everything together. So we've got that sort of deep gloss black ready for the gold effect to go on to all of this bumper. And don't forget, it's got like the snout thing, it's got the strip light, you know, all the 60s truck favourite bits. Moving around, we've got like the underside of the bonnet. This is a nightmare to sand. So it's got this nice sort of riveted feature, and then the, you know, the hinges have got this nice drilled brace, and it's all been smoothed out under there because, of course, the way I build things, the backside of that bonnet looked dreadful. You know, it's just all raw fiberglass and stuff. So you've got to make like a second inner skin. Moving around the car, we've got the doors and door shuts. You know, stuff like this, which is just plating essentially. You know, have to bodywork all of that, do all of this, and then there was the running boards. Now these running boards, as you know, we've got the moulds to make this. But these running boards, once they've been bonded on, and there's been so much metal work done underneath them, like underneath this, it's a 2x2 box section, plated over an 8mm plate. This car can just drag in the road. You know, if you wanted, it would plough the road before anything would get damaged. Everything's tucked underneath, nothing can catch the floor. These have moved a bit, and I looked down at them and I thought, they're just going to take hours of bodywork, and of course, it's all in here. So it's all actually in here, and like the back part in there, that's going to be mirrored, so that when you see the car from a distance, it just looks like that's a hole through the car under the door. So I didn't have to do the back. But what I did to do these, I fitted a straight piece of timber along here, taped the back so it would release, and then I just flooded this whole area with fiberglass resin. But into that resin I mixed the fiberglass sort of microball powder. That knits it all together. If you just did it with resin, it'd be full of cracks. But that knits it together, and I did it on both sides. The other side, I'd not noticed how bad it was. We had it on the ramp one day, and when you could look down it, it sagged in the middle, and it's probably just a problem out the mould or whatever. But by doing that and using gravity, I probably saved myself a couple of days of like quite heavy sanding. And you know, it's thickened up the fiberglass. They are tough now. This car really will. Like you say tail dragger, and normally dragging the tail of a car causes damage. Not on this car. We've got the wings. These just ludicrous quarter panels as well that just seem, you know, when you flatten them, they seem to go on forever. But now it's just all nice, smooth, almost ready to paint primer. And at the back, and this really is, you know, like, I know I can get around this car in a day now, but this takes a day on its own, just this back bit. So we've got all the interiors of the double wings. They've been very difficult to sand. Then we've got all of this with so many curves and stuff. And of course in the doghouse. Now, within the doghouse, I don't know if this is cheating or not, but I've stone chipped in there because the bike and the ramp go into there. You know, it's going to look nice, and I'm going to nib the stone chip back, but I don't want any of that to chip. I want it all to be hard wearing. So I have stone chipped in there. I did prep it though, and prepping inside that was just unbelievably difficult. And the shape's got to be that shape. We tried so hard, but the bike needs that much room. And then to get the two seats, which are out of a Rover 75, they're big leather seats, to get those to fit, it had to be that shape. We had to cut some out the back of the Rover seats as well. It was very tight to get all this in, just to keep this bed short, and just so it's not got... Normally when you put a motorbike on the back of a pickup, it's got to stick out, and then you need a pickup with an overly long bed, and no one wants a long bed, do they? You want it nice and in. So, yeah, it's been really hard to make that happen, and I see why people just extend the bed now, because my God, it would be so much easier. But yeah, moving around, we've got all the Continental kit, and of course all of this will have to be done in the black. So this part, the bullet, around here, around and right the way around, that is all going to be gold in the chrome as well. And of course this will just be in body colour. But even under here, this is all plated in 8mm plate. So this can literally just drag and spark in the floor, you know, just as much as you want. This is going to ride low and ride low well. And then, of course, we've got the other light aperture, which you saw the light earlier, and that's where that actually fits. God, it's going to look awesome. And that is it. That's where I'm at. I can't show you inside this amazingly painted doghouse, which is all in metal flake because I've got the masking on at the minute. But, you know, next time I'll definitely show you all that. And next time, hopefully, this is going to be painted. Okay, so that's what I've been up to. That's been my summer. Really busy with my other job, like making bikes. There's so many bikes. And I'll be back. I'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. I'm going to try and make these videos as regular as we possibly can. It's winter. We've got time. We should be really on and getting that truck done. Getting stuff finished and then starting to actually put stuff together. Because at the minute, I fitted all those parts 1,000 times. The truck's been together. And then I've had to take it to bits, but once it's painted, we'll be like playing for keeps, putting that thing together and getting the 60s truck finished. And also, we're going to be putting a motor in this in a couple of weeks as well, so that's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. You know, like test driving stuff like that, best job in the world. Anyway, this has been Custom Works. That is all we've got time for. Don't forget, do the like, do that thing. I think you know the thumbs up, the bell thing. Tell people in the street, share it to other people. Or you can do that buy a coffee thing. There's 1,000,001 things you can do. Follow me on Instagram as well. I think I'm on Automatron4 on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook. But Instagram's a place for all the pictures, all the news, all the stuff to do with the cars. So, I thank you very much, and good night.